Awesome. Look at this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you built this. You built this for this show.
Yeah. Does it feel like a lot?
No, I love it.
Is it too much? Be honest.
I think it's great. The Ricky Gervais thing is to put all your awards behind you. So you haven't done that.
Well, there's too many spaces.
My name is Jack Thorne. I'm an odd booking, and I am very pleased to be on the Romesh Ranganathan show.
Shut up, Romesh.
Thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate it. Do you do a lot of this?
No.
Okay, well, then we're really honoured then. List of shows you've written is unbelievable. This is England, Harry Potter, His Dark Material Skins, and of course, Adolescence. What does it feel like to have written and created Adolescence? I mean, is it? How does it feel to be sat there? You cannot have got even close to predicting what the response to that was going to be.
No.
What was it like to be inside all of it? I mean, I can't even imagine.
When it was going on, when it all got mad and suddenly we were being invited to 10 Downing Street and stuff, it felt weird, but because it was every day and so much every day, it just became this sort of ride that you were on. Yeah. Also, I had Stephen, Stephen Graham and Steve.
What a guy, by the way.
What a guy. And one of my favourite people in the world.
Yeah.
And it was the sixth thing we'd done together. So we know each other really intimately.
Yeah.
And Steve is so comfortable with himself. Which isn't to say that he's comfortable, but he's so comfortable with himself. He's done the work on himself.
Yes.
That he just kind of took us all by the hand, which is what it was like making the show.
Yeah.
But he just kind of took us all by the hand and particularly took me by the hand. And we would be, sitting on the couch on BBC Breakfast or whatever. And it felt like, it felt safe. Right. He made things safe and he still makes things safe. He's currently campaigning to have a London bus take us to the Emmys. The whole group of us, because we've got a few nominations in all sorts of different departments.
Yes. Yeah.
And so there'll be a whole gang of us, and he just wants us all to arrive together and be together. And so Stephen has sort of made it all okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Which he does on everything.
Yeah. Well, at what point did you realise it was going to be? I mean, I guess you would have had an idea, right? Because like Brad Pitt was involved in it, right?
Yes.
So how did that come about?
He Plan B, who is his production company, suggested the idea initially to Phil Barantini. Right. Not the idea of what the show became, but the idea of doing a one-shot TV show.
So the one-shot element was from the very origin of it, right?
Yes. Well, Matt Lewis, our amazing cinematographer, they did a short together, Phil, Stephen and Matt, that was a boiling point. This that then became a feature film, and both used the one shot template. Yeah, and then we made the TV show, and the TV show was using that template.
So it's always going to be one shot. And then when did you come up with the concept for what Adolescence was going to be? Was that?
Well, when Stephen first called me about it, he said, I want to do something about knife crime. Right. And I want it to be about teenagers and particularly boys attacking girls. Yeah. Because he'd read some news pieces about it that had scared him. And he was like, we need to look at that. And so we were, and he had a rough idea of how we were going to structure it. And we started talking and we were getting places, but we weren't getting places fast enough. And then my assistant, Mariella, said to me, I think you need to look at incel culture, because I was really struggling to find the motive, because Stephen had two rules from the very start. The first was it was going to be one shot. The second was I don't want to blame the parents.
Right.
I don't want this to be a show that makes things easy. Yeah. Because I don't believe the world works like that. Yeah. And I don't want it to be like, he had an alcoholic mum or he had an abusive dad or any of those sorts of things. I want it to be more interesting than that. I want it to go to a more interesting place than that. But that meant that because you don't have those easy places to go, you sort of had to find different avenues and angles. And I was sort of drowning until Mariella said, look at incel culture. And as soon as I did, it was like, okay, there's a story to be told here.
In the decision to sort of look at incel culture, it sort of added an element to Adolescence that basically scared the shit out of every parent.
Yes,
that watched it, right?
Yes.
Because it's this whole thing about, as a father of 3 sons,
Yes.
but I know that a lot of influence on my children is what they see online, and and so Lisa and I are very conscious of providing, instilling in them a decent set of values and understanding of all of that, and trying to contextualize all of that. How terrifying was it if you looked into incel culture?
Yeah,
I imagine you would have been pretty disturbed by what you found. How difficult was it to kind of deep dive into that?
So there's two aspects of it. There's the manosphere and then there's incel culture. They're actually separate sort of things.
Right. Okay.
And incel culture, the reason why I thought it made sense for Jamie, incel culture isn't inherently violent at all, but it's got this statistic that it sort of carries on its back, which is 80% of women are attracted to 20% of men. So your job as a man is to work out how to be in that 20% and how to manipulate the situation, either by how you look, by your fitness, by your attitude to the world, but also through an element of manipulation. And that was the bit where I went, I think Jamie would have ingested that, and I think it would have damaged his soul in some way. And then the manosphere is the slightly more aggressive sort of Andrew Tate world of, there's a way to be. There's a way to be in this world, and there's a way to and both scared me, but for slightly different reasons.
Right.
And the thing that I was looking for wasn't the Andrew Tates. It was kids talking to other kids.
Yeah.
It was I went to see June today, and this is what I thought about the film, and this is how this girl looked at me, and this is how that made me feel, and I am angry because of this. And it was trying to find that sort of those people that get 5,000, 6,000, 10,000, 15,000 hits on their videos, and are young people talking to other young people. That's the bit, and that's the bit that scared me, because there is a lot of them. There is a lot of them, and it's there's a lot of hate. There's a lot of hate right now because hate feels easy. Yeah. And there's a lot of anger in the world, and there's a lot of people that feel like they're a bit lost. And trying to find a way to reach those people and to protect them from the sort of stream of hate that gets fed them by the tech companies that are making billions off this stuff. I think is really, really, really important.
I imagine that, sort of going through that, you will have felt pretty a little despair. I imagine. I know. Look, whenever I've looked into it, you start to get, it's frightening actually. Did you see anything that sort of counteracted that? Did you find anything that sort of gave you hope? And
there's lots of beautiful people online that are doing lots of beautiful things. I did Question Time a few weeks ago with Tommy Innit, who's a YouTube influencer. I don't even know whether he'd like the word influencer, but he came up from Minecraft, and hearing him, watching his videos where he talks really openly about his mental health and how he's trying to overcome it, and the things that he struggles with. And I think if I'd heard that stuff when I was young, maybe that would have made me a little stronger as a person to feel like there was a community out there. There's a lot of people that are finding ways to be open in a way that I think our generation weren't. Yeah. And I think that's incredibly powerful.
So the two things off the back of Adolescence is, one, the critical acclaim for it was through the roof. In terms of reviewers describing it as perfect. I think there was one review that was I think it was maybe in the Times, it just said, just wow. And I want us to just keep saying wow. It was proper incredible. When I look at that, somebody else that creates stuff, you're dreaming of those kind of reviews, right? That's not the reason you make stuff. I think if that's the reason you make stuff, then there's a real problem there, right? Yeah. But that shouldn't be the reason. But you're still hoping. There's a part of you that's going, you got the reviews that most people can only dream of. What did it do? Did it help?
No, because you just go, what's, when you're doing it, and this must be like you, by the time that the show comes out, you're working on the next one.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And then you're going, but that was good, and what I'm doing now is terrible. Do you know what I mean? And so you're just kind of like,
it's just a horrible thing to hear, but I get it.
It just creates a hurdle, but it was really nice.
Yeah.
It was really nice, and making it, I felt like we were making something that was special, and
you knew at the time you were making it.
Yeah,
right.
And I'm not saying that because of how it was written or what Steve and I did.
Yeah.
I'm saying that there was something about the atmosphere of making it and the way that we were making it and the way that it felt like everyone was coming together.
Yes.
That was really, really special.
Well, I mean, look, it's so amazing. Like, congratulations on creating that. It's unbelievable. How did you feel about taking that level of praise? Because, like, I feel like, I know it doesn't look like on the surface, but knowing what you're like, I feel like we've got a lot in common, actually. Do you know what I mean? In our makeup. Were you able to accept all the praise and take that, not take it on board, but
But that's the thing about what I do. There was a moment when Rio Ferdinand was asked why he plays in defence.
Yeah.
And he said, because I can see the whole pitch from here. And that's how I feel about writing. That you're at the back and you're able to see things and you're able to see the wonderful creation. But my job is to pass the ball to Stephen Graham. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
and then Stephen Graham's job is to pass the ball to Owen Cooper.
Yeah.
And do you know what I mean? So when you're getting that sort of thing, my main feeling was how lucky I was to be part of something that had so many great people doing great work.
Yeah.
And it was everyone. That the advantage of the way that we shot it, right, was we had a week of rehearsal, and then we had a week of tech, and then we had a week of shooting.
Right.
And that meant that we had no day players. So there was no one that was coming in to do a day as a police sergeant and to take people's fingerprints and then to leave. That everyone working on this show was working on the show for 3 weeks.
Got you.
And that meant that everyone was invested. If you've got a guy who was meeting someone in a lift, they did the work on their character, and you watch through the 3 weeks, you watch that character become more and more complicated and better. And it was just that thing of, and that was the best bit about the show. We felt like we genuinely empowered people.
Yeah.
And that they used that power to do something kind of beautiful and brilliant with it. And that fed us all, and we all were sort of feeding together. And so that's why I felt like when we were making it, that we were making something special, because I was going, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Stephen once stopped filming halfway through. Well, it was not a take. It was a rehearsed take. To just turn to the guy who was doing the fingerprints and going, "You're brilliant. You're really, really brilliant." And that says everything about Stephen, because Stephen just gets excited about other actors.
Yeah.
But that thing of just kind of like everyone working on that show was giving beautiful notes that then added together to make a song.
And it's also incredible to have Stephen Graham in midfield, isn't it?
It is incredible to have, and he is like a midfield enforcer, and also he's got Gerrard's right foot. He can do both. Yeah.
And then over and above that, all of the critical acclaim and the award noms, and fingers crossed he'll be arriving at the Emmys in a bus. You actually made real world, outside the world of entertainment, difference in terms of politicians taking notice of this and people discussing it at a very high level.
Yes.
What was that like?
That was, so my dad is was, when he retired, he went and worked for the Citizens Advice Bureau.
Right.
And then he stopped it because he was in his 70s and he was knackered. And then he restarted it. And I said, "Dad, why are you going back? You're tired."
Yeah.
And he said, "Because I can't read the newspaper unless I'm trying to change the world."
Wow.
And he genuinely means it, right?
Yeah.
My dad is someone that's just always been the sort of like, my mum went to jail for the CND. So like politics, doing good, or trying to make a difference, or any of those sorts of things are like, being thrust into my head around the breakfast table from a very young age.
Yeah.
So then being in a situation where they want you to do question time, or they want you to, when you're just kind of like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go to 10 Downing Street. I don't want to do any of that stuff because I get scared walking out the door. But then your dad's on your shoulder going, use this opportunity. Whether we have made a difference, I'm not sure. Right. What we did was we made noise.
Yes.
Right?
But that can lead to difference.
That can, but politicians sort of take noise and then they transform it for their own good.
Yes, sure.
And there's an element on this show where I think Keir Starmer listened and really did listen to what other people were saying. And when we went into 10 Downing Street, it wasn't about us. We weren't there to say how, important a show on Netflix is. We were going in with lots of other people, like from the NSPCC and Movember and these amazing groups that actually know about things rather than us that are playing around in things. Yeah. And they spoke at that meeting, and Keir listened to them about how we deal with young men. And you hope that some of this stuff will have gone in. I believe he listened to it. You hope that some of this stuff will have gone in and transformed things. I'm not sure whether it has.
Possibly not. But what I do think is, like, by dint of what the show was about and also the number of people that watched it, the big difference, I think, personally, and obviously I'm speaking from a position of relative thickness, but you've made so many parents aware of what could be happening to their children. Do you know what I mean? In a way that I feel like they might not have been aware before. And it's that thing of, like, the whole thing, that you said, that Stephen said about not blaming the parents. So often you'll see situations where parents go, I just had no idea that my child was capable of this, or, it's so alien to them that my child was going through this, and that, I think, I think that's a real difference.
No, and the best emails we got, and I got a few of them, were from friends saying, I've just had that conversation with my 14-year-old that I've needed to have for a very long time, and it happened on the sofa. And as someone that grew up on a sofa beside my mum watching EastEnders and then having conversations with her afterwards about the stuff in it, that meant the world. Yeah. So maybe in those little ways we've done stuff. I'm not sure whether we've affected political change.
Sure.
Which means that I've disappointed my dad again.
Well, listen, that's our journey in life, isn't it? My mum's actually got a question for you.
Awesome.
I don't know what this question is, so she sent it to Ben. So I don't know whether to apologise or not. I have no idea what is about to happen.
This is amazing. Okay, this is amazing.
All right.
Hi, Jack. Congratulations on Adolescence. I haven't seen it, but I heard a lot about it. I have a little question to ask. When you were a little child, did you get into a lot of trouble? If you could answer me, I'll be very grateful. Thank you so much.
She's sort of combined. There's a lot to unpick there, isn't there? So she hasn't watched it.
No.
But she also mixed.
It's my favourite question I've ever been asked, I think.
She's combined sounding quite light with also quite stern. She sort of said, "Did you get into trouble? I'd like to know." So, did you get into a lot of trouble?
No. I'm so sorry to disappoint her. No, I didn't really. I was a good boy.
Right.
I was frightened of my dad, and I was frightened of my teachers, and that meant that I didn't really do anything out of line.
Oh, okay. Well, she should be delighted to hear that.
I did do some shoplifting.
Right. So,
but
everybody does a bit of shoplifting, don't they?
But not as much as others.
No, I got a lifetime ban from Woolworths.
Wow.
Yeah, I stole
So you were the guy that was celebrating when Woolworths closed.
I was like, I thought I'm playing the long game here. One day you're going to be forced online. I cannot wait. No, I stole a Gladiator's chocolate. Well, I opened a Gladiator's chocolate medallion.
Wow.
In the store and ate it as I walked through. I was just showing off in front of my friends.
Right.
And then I left. I think the security guard spotted me doing it, but he just thought it's just a kid doing it. But then I went back later on that day. I got high off my own sort of success. And I got really cocky and I went back in, and then he collared me and he said, it's one thing to come in here once.
Yeah.
but to come in again.
And what was the second time was the Terry's chocolate orange?
Yeah,
you
something
went
like,
bigger.
I just probably I unwrapped it. I was making loads of noise. I opened one of the boxes. I don't want that one. I've actually got a present for you. Could we? It's in front of your. Yeah, you've got it there.
There you go.
Could you pass it to me? So this is
Wow.
a selection of ET bookmarks
Oh my God.
as a little gift for
That
you.
is so kind.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Thank you.
No problem.
They're beautiful.
Thanks. I mean, not that I didn't make them, but what do you think? Genuinely.
I love them. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, I've got Be Good on my wrist.
Oh right. Oh, you are in. You're in. You are a fan.
Oh, like beyond.
Really?
Yeah. My son is called Elliot. It's total obsession. Yes. So ET is more than it was my childhood. My childhood was basically pre-ET, post-ET.
Well, it's twofold the reason we got you this.
Okay.
Is one, because we knew you're an ET fan, but also apparently Elliot gets annoyed with you folding pages over in books.
This is true.
Is that also true?
This is true. But Elliot also doesn't like ET. Despite the fact he's called.
How does he feel about it then, being called Elliot? I was about to say being called ET. You didn't call him that, did you?
Well, he is ET because he's Elliot Thorne.
Right. Oh, right.
So it's really like, yeah, it goes deep. It goes deep.
You committed,
Yeah. So he's okay with the name, but anytime we say we should watch that film again, he goes, No, I've seen it once.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it. And you're okay. But we went to Superman on the weekend and he
liked that.
He liked that, but he preferred the original. He preferred the Christopher Reeves.
Did he?
Yes.
Well, because of the thing is I took my son. I'm a massive Star Wars fan.
Right.
I took my son to watch The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Which is basically the original Star Wars film sort of redone in a jazzier format, right? And so I was watching it and he was really into it. And then I thought, great, I can show him. This is my gateway to showing him the original films.
Yeah.
But they're cut for a different attention level, aren't they?
Yes.
So the fact that he prefers the Christopher Reeve version of Superman is surprising, isn't it?
Did you think when you were choosing what films to show your kids, did you think really, because I got very obsessional about what films to show him before the age when he gets to choose. So we watched lots of stuff like Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Right.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks was his favourite film for a very long time.
Right.
So we watched films that were kind of weird and from another time because I read an article which said that Pixar had damaged the way that her children watch films because they're so used to the Pixar formula of perfection, basically. Right. You know, the emotional perfection. Each one of those moments is
like it's lab designed, isn't it, to take you through a journey?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't. I'll be honest with you, the ship has sailed for me. I didn't do that, and actually, so I really love Back to the Future,
right?
And I didn't show it to my kids.
Oh,
and then we went to watch the Back to the Future musical.
Yeah, we went to that too.
Right. What did you think of it?
Loved it.
Yeah, I was like blown away.
Yeah,
and like I thought it was great. And then I thought I'm going to show the film, and then I actually watched the film myself.
Yeah.
To get an idea of how I thought it was going to go down.
Yeah.
And then I thought, I don't know if this is going to work. So I still haven't shown it to them.
Well, you see, Back to the Future is Elliot's favourite film.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, you're such a better dad than me.
No. I'm inadequate in every way. I just thought very carefully about what films to watch when. But it is his favourite film. And 2 and 3 he also loves. But the first one is the one that means the most. Actually, I think he'd now say that 3 is his favourite.
3 is great.
3 is great, yeah.
2 is fine, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's got the trainers in and stuff, which I like.
Yes, and the hoverboard.
Yeah, and the jaws coming out the thing. I love that.
Yeah.
But it's probably the weakest of the 3, I think.
Yes.
E.T., I went to Universal Studios a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And I went on the E.T. ride.
Which is beautiful.
It is beautiful. But do you remember the end bit?
No.
Like, there's a bit just before the end of the ride where you see lots of other aliens.
Oh.
And it's quite mad. Have you?
Oh.
And so,
I don't remember that at all.
So you see lots of other aliens, and they don't look like E.T. They're sort of remixes, I would describe them as. Do you know what I mean? They're different colours and slightly different shapes and stuff. And it's a bit surreal. It's like it's a bit weird. I would describe it as drug fueled. Is what my initial reaction to it was. And then we had a guide, and I said to the guide, "That wasn't."
Oh, you spent the money.
Yeah,
you got the person that showed you around.
Do you know what happened? Is so because we were at
or did you use celebrity points?
No,
just get
I didn't.
It for free?
I didn't. But I didn't get it. I certainly didn't get it. My profile is not sufficiently at a level in America where they're going to give me anything free. But actually, what did happen? It's funny you say that. So we were doing one day at Universal, and I thought I'm just going to pay for a guide. It's a lot of money, as you know.
Yes.
So I thought I'm going to get this guide, and then they phoned me back 10 minutes later, and they said, "Are you Romesh Ranganathan, the comedian?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah." And they said,
"Your heart rising."
Yeah. I was like, "Oh my God, this is incredible!" But they weren't offering me a discount or anything. What they said was, "Would you like security? Because we've seen that you're a person of profile." And then I don't need security at Universal Florida.
Right.
Nobody's going to bother me.
Right.
But there was a moment where I considered it because I just thought sort of fantasy fulfillment of walking around Universal with like somebody in sunglasses just sort of looking around. So I did consider it, but then I thought the embarrassment factor of walking around and then the security guy going, "This doesn't really feel like this is necessary." So I decided against. But I said to the guide, "What was that trippy bit at the end?" And he said that was what the sequel was going to be.
I was just about to that does make sense for what ET2 was going to be. But then thankfully they didn't make it because it was going to be Return to ET's Planet. Yeah.
Right, yeah. But based purely on that segment of the ride, I would say I'm glad that it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not one of these people that think sequels are bad because you've still got the original.
Yeah.
When people say the sequel's terrible, you've still got the original. It doesn't matter. They've not replaced it, so it's
Back
fine.
to the Future 3 is a great film.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sorry. That's
no.
That was. I didn't realise the bookmarks were going to send us on that spiral, but that was great.
No.
You're repeatedly described as being prolific.
Yes.
Which I've been described not on the same quality as your work, unfortunately.
No, I would say you are prolific.
But you said you hate that term.
Yes, I do. Yes. Do you like that term?
The thing that I have more of a bugbear with is people sort of saying to me, "You work really hard." Because I don't feel like I do work very hard. The truth is, I've said this in my last stand-up show, I work a lot, but I don't work hard because everything I do is like a lot of fun. So to me, actually I have a problem that I'm addicted to doing it because I enjoy it so much. So sometimes I forget that I'm actually, like, this doesn't feel like work. Do you know what I mean?
But also, I think the way that I think we may be a little similar is that we both feel incredibly lucky.
Yes, 100%, 100%, yeah.
I remember I was at the pilot of Taskmaster.
Were you?
Yes, because Frank Skinner's my brother-in-law.
Right.
And so he was like, "You should come along to the pilot of this." And I'd not seen you before.
Right.
Taskmaster was the first time I saw you on TV. And then and we were like, "Who's that guy? He's incredible." Well, my wife knew you because my wife's in comedy.
Right.
And then watching you explode and just enjoy every minute of it, I think I understand that. And that's, I work really hard. I don't enjoy all of it, but I work really hard because I feel so lucky.
I know. I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, is that people say, you're doing loads of work, but the thing is, and I think this is exactly what you're saying, is that you just go, "I can't believe I'm getting paid to do this thing that I like. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Why would I not take all the opportunities to do it more?"
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. I was working till 10:30 last night.
Right.
And I that was the end of 13 hours of sat at my computer.
Yeah.
But I genuinely went to bed going, "I can't do this every day, but I really enjoyed today."
You do that amount of work.
Yes.
And the other question that I get asked a lot about is actually also by friends and family is work-life balance.
Yes.
How do you deal with that?
I have much less children than you do. I only have one. And so that makes it a lot simpler. I do, I take him to school 3 days a week.
Yeah.
And Rach takes him to school 2 days a week. And then I put him down every night. That's my job.
That's your unbreakable kind of rule, isn't it?
Exactly. And I'd say I do 90% of putting him to bed.
Right.
Possibly even 95%. And that's our hour, which we have a sort of like set routine as to what we do. And that's the moment when I feel like I get my connection with him. Yeah. And then we do other stuff, like we went to Superman last weekend, and we have holidays and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there's an awful lot of stuff that Rachel takes responsibility for, and packing the bag. That always feels like that's the job that the primary caregiver does.
Yes.
And you always sort of know who the primary caregiver is if they're the one that packs the bag.
That's like a primary caregiver test, isn't it?
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
that is because if I pack the bag, it's a lot of questions.
Yes, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It becomes an operation. Lisa packing the bag
Yeah.
happens very quickly.
Absolutely.
Me packing the bag requires a lot of sort of interrogation, self-doubt. There could be tears, and then we get there and not everything's there.
Exactly.
And then Lisa will often turn to me and say, "It wasn't. You doing the job wasn't the time saver for me that I hoped it was going to be."
Absolutely. Yeah. And the reading record wasn't there, and so your kid ended up having to stay in at break and do their reading record because they're, Sarah Barron, the comedian Sarah Barron.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I love Sarah.
She talks about, she's never met a man who arranged a play date.
God,
And you go, yeah, no, that's true. I don't think I've ever arranged a play date.
Yeah.
And the idea of arranging a play date, I've attended play dates.
Yes.
But the idea of arranging a play date, I think I would find very difficult.
Yeah, me too. Choosing where to go, what time that happens.
Exactly. But also doing that thing of contacting the parent and going, my kid likes your kid. Do you want to hang out?
My kid likes your kid.
Yeah.
You're putting yourself out there, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. It's difficult.
Yeah. And then they come back and they say, oh, he's quite busy.
Yeah.
And you go, it's 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
This feels like a brush off.
Exactly. Does your kid not like my kid as much as my kid likes your kid?
I feel like I'd if I was doing it, I'd send a follow-up text message going, look, this isn't going to get back to him, but just be real with me. Is this a taste thing? Because if it is, that's absolutely fine. Now, to me, and I can say this to you, and you'll feel uncomfortable hearing it, but to me, you're supremely talented and excellent at what you do. You've got the track record to bear it out. But one of the things that I think we've got in common is a deep and heavy set imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Now, you even talked about hiding in the toilets at the London Film Festival to avoid speaking to anybody.
Yes.
So do you have any idea where this comes from? Have you been able to deal with it better? I mean, first of all, what happened at the London Film Festival?
So I'd won Best Newcomer.
Right.
And then I was invited to a party afterwards. And I went to the party. I realised I knew no one there. I did the walk round the party that you do. And then I was like, I can't be here anymore. So I hid in the toilets for an hour and then left.
When you hid in the toilets, were you thinking, I'm waiting to pluck up enough courage to...
No, I was doing the time before it would be appropriate. It felt like doing an hour at a party is okay.
Right.
And then, but I went to a party on the weekend with Rach and my first thought was we need to leave.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's not to do with imposter syndrome. That's just to do with social anxiety.
Well, it's so weird because I have that social anxiety as well.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, even if it's people I know and like, I find it terrifying. I had an experience of I was at Edinburgh Festival, and I just finished doing my show, and it had gone fine. I wasn't in a dark place particularly, and I was walking through the courtyard at the Pleasance, and I saw loads of comedians that I like, Ed Gamble, Nish Coombe, loads of people that I really like, but they were in a group, and so I turned around and went the other way, and it wasn't that I like them, all of them. I like all of them. I would consider them friends. But just in that situation, I couldn't bear it. I don't know. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to field questions about the festival or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? I
think that's one of the reasons why Rob and Romesh work so well.
Yeah,
is that he would walk into any situation, right, and just go, I feel likeable. I know he suffers with anxiety and stuff too, but his anxiety works slightly differently.
Yeah, it does. It does. And it's a different flavour of anxiety.
Yeah, and that thing of just going, I belong here. I'm going to have a good time. I'm going to do stuff. Yeah, and you're more reluctant, and I love that about the two of you. That that's what makes you such an amazing double act. I think.
Oh, thank you. So the imposter syndrome. Is there any level of external validation do you think will quash that for you?
Because
because you've done pretty well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
So in theory, if if you go to therapy, I don't know if you've done any therapy or whatever, but
Not much.
But I've done a bit, and they say to you that you have to find something in order to deal with it. You have to find something inside.
Yes.
Because it's much more difficult.
And you're like, I could find something outside that would make that feel better.
How about I
win an
relentlessly chase something outside instead? You've sort of had like a huge level of success. Has that helped quash that or quell that at all?
I'd say the biggest thing that has helped deal with that is getting married.
Right.
And I think that thing of having a best friend that genuinely likes me, and genuinely is interested in me, and I'm genuinely interested in and excited to talk to.
Yeah.
I think because when I went to the London Film Festival, that was pre-Rage. I don't think I'd do that now. I think I'd go outside, call her, and then go back in once she'd said, it's going to be okay. And I think that's the thing that's made the biggest difference to that.
Did you meet through work?
Sort of.
Right.
We met at the Cornwall Film Festival.
Okay.
Where we were both there because we really
Thank
liked
God you didn't hide in the toilet that time.
Yeah, exactly. And Frank was there. And so, there were people that genuinely intimidated me there.
Yes.
And Frank was there with her because he's with her sister.
Yeah.
But for some reason, she just punched through everything and still does.
God, that's so lovely. But
you have that.
I do have that. Yeah, I said that a little bit like I don't have that, but I do. Love you, Lisa.
Yeah.
But she won't watch this. So because I feel personally, I don't know if this is your experience, but I do like my kids have got such little interest in what I do for a job, right? And so my value to them is so detached from my work.
Yes.
And the same thing with Lisa. She hasn't really got. She watches some of the stuff I do, but not loads. She'll come to the tour and stuff like that, but more of out of a sense of
duty.
Fragile ego needs a bit of support. Do you know what I mean? But I think, I think you need that. I feel like you need some people for whom you're 100% sure that whatever happens outside will not affect their opinion of you at all. Do you know what I mean? Because we're so used to putting stuff out there and it gets evaluated and judged and there's numbers attached to it and stuff like that. And you can get too caught up in your value being attached to that. So then having some people that aren't like that is amazing, right?
Yes. Though something I admire about what you do is you bring your family into everything. And so, no, but that's I've even heard you on the radio with your brother, who I think that was the only time you've done something with your brother.
Yeah, he's done a couple of things. Yeah.
But I think that's beautiful that you do bring them in. And I saw a Judge Romesh where
my mum and Lisa.
Yeah. And it was amazing, where she was complaining about your mum's food being too good.
Yes, my mum's care packages.
And then you ended up on Desert Island Discs, and the thing you chose was your mum's food, which is quite a slight on your wife. Who's
I hadn't put those things together in that way.
Yeah. But I really like that, and I really like, and I did, and I had a bit of that with Rach this year because we did a film together where we worked on a film together.
Right.
And so I totally hear you. There's something nice about people outside it, and there are people that I do have outside of it, but there's something also joyful about bringing people in.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I don't think there's any level of bringing my mum in that would be enough for her, to be honest with you. I'd love to ask you about television, because I know you love television, and I do too. Comedy on television is going through what I would describe as extreme contraction, which is
Is it going through a contraction, or is it changing?
I think it's sort of
because the sitcom is going through a contraction, but
what
you guys do that it always feels like this.
I think the truth is, what I think is it will just change to something else. But we're in a period of not being 100% sure what that looks like. Yeah. But we had, when we were growing up, we had the telly on all the time, like it was the fire. And TV was such a big part of our lives growing up, as it was for a lot of people. And I know you love TV. What do you feel about the nature of, you hear rumours now about people writing shows for people that will be looking at their phone while they're watching the show. And it feels like TV is the landscape has changed a lot, hasn't it?
Yeah.
How do you feel about where TV's at now? I mean, you're coming off the back of one of the most watched things ever, but
I don't think we quite know what AI is going to do to us. So I think that what happens next will be less to do with the death of linear television, which is going to die, and more to do with what AI is going to do to our form.
Right.
So I think everyone's talking about, what happens when the BBC and Channel 4 don't exist as linear channels anymore. Yeah. I think what's going to be more interesting is what AI does to our viewing as things are able to transform themselves in an instant to be something else.
Yeah.
And I don't think we quite know what that's going to be. I was talking to a writer the other day and saying that I think scripts are going to be consumed in a totally different way. I think we're going to have animatics as a normal thing in a script meeting. I think film is doing really interesting stuff right now. I think TV has sort of eaten Robert McKee, the book Story by Robert McKee.
Yeah.
And so it's like, at 15 minutes, you'll have your a turn of some kind.
Yeah.
At 30, you'll have another one. And then you're building to your last 3 minutes, which is the thing that makes you turn to episode 2. And because people are used to that, they know that they can sort of look at their phones between minutes 16
because
and 29.
There's downtime.
Exactly. They're like, there'll be things growing, but the moment that I need to concentrate is there. And that thing of keeping people from watching 2 screens simultaneously, I think is... And what you're talking about in terms of the unexpected in comedy, it breaks that, doesn't it? Because you're not able to sit there on your phone.
No.
You've got to concentrate.
Do you think that means that if you do make a show that isn't like that, are we being trained as viewers for that to be the thing that we're able to accept? It's like, the only thing we'll have is McDonald's, do you know what I mean? And then if you have something else, you're going to reject it or something. Do you think there's a danger of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, this is like... That's quite sad, isn't it? Anyway,
no, but it's not sad because there's going to be people that work out how to break the mold, and there's going to be people that do things differently. We just need to find ways to change our industry in order to empower them. Like Michaela Cole's "I May Destroy You." Do you remember?
Yeah.
I think the effect that show had on future generations is really profound. I think that's one of the most revolutionary shows of the last 30 years.
Yeah.
But so we need more like that. We need more Michaela Cole's. I think she's got a show coming out this year. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What are you watching at the moment?
We just finished watching Forever on Netflix.
Yeah.
That was really good. We watched Apple Cider Vinegar, also on Netflix.
Yeah.
So too much Netflix.
Right.
I'm trying to think. This is why I'm trying to think of shows that we watched on terrestrial TV.
Yeah.
We watched Joe and Stacey.
Yeah.
We love that.
Yeah.
And we're watching Taskmaster Series 19 with Elliot. And we watched the swearing version and tell him that, it's okay.
Yeah.
Some people use this sort of language.
I tell you what's horrible is to see your son watching one of the later series of Taskmaster and then go, oh, do you know I was actually on that? And he goes, yeah, you were right. It's to not be one of your children's favourites on Taskmaster is a horrible place. So in terms of writing, you've sort of completed it now. Have you got any more ambition? I mean, like, have you still got the same drive? You've got all the reviews, everybody watched it. You got to go to Downing Street. I mean, what more do you want, man? Do you know what I mean? You're going to go to the Emmys in a bus.
I want my dad to be proud of me. No, I like doing what I do. I just want to keep doing it. I hope I've got other stories worth telling.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I feel like we get so caught up in we're supposed to be on a trajectory somewhere. Whereas there's nothing wrong in just doing a thing because you love doing the thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be part of some goal-orientated move towards like, this is the level, this is my moment in which I go, I've done it, you know.
And it's that thing of, I'm trying to write a show at the moment, which is a 2-person musical.
Right.
Which can go into any sort of space and can belong in that space.
Yeah.
And so, going from, a big show to that, but that's what I want to do. That's what I want to keep making and make interesting things. And you never quite know what's going to be the thing that catches fire. You just hope that something does.
Oh, that's good. I'm excited for you. Do you what is your writing process? Because is it right you go to like a hut with no?
I've got a hut. Yeah, that doesn't have a hut. It used to be
It's a hotel. It's a suite.
It used to have a pottery wheel in it.
Right.
And it was at the back of the house that we bought.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's where I go, and it's got no Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And I sit in there and I hope. I type and I hope, and I work every day. And
do you do it like an office job? Like you turn up, right? Okay.
I walk across the garden carrying my laptop in a little bag,
Yeah,
and then and then plug my laptop into the bigger screen that I've got out there, and then just sit there all day, and then walk back through the house to go to the loo. I'll get a glass of water. And and my wife sometimes asks, how's it going? But mostly she just nods at me and grunts.
Do you spend the day, as often I do, if I'm working on something, hoping beyond hope that your wife doesn't walk in and see what it is that you actually do? Because do you know what I mean? 'Cause I remember, like, just sort of occasionally I've been on like a Zoom meeting where we've been talking about something, and I've gone, I think it's funny if we say Cocoa Pops. At least sort of walk past and gone, this is your big boy meeting, is it? I had a thing where, like, I've got an office at home.
Yeah.
I've got decks in there because I'm obsessed with music.
Yeah.
And then I put a PlayStation in there. I've got Guitar Hero, the arcade. And Elisa was like, are you planning on doing anything in that in that workspace? How do you feel?
So how do you divide it up? How do you when you're typing?
Yeah.
And you go, oh, I can't type anymore.
Yeah.
How long is that?
I don't have a set. So my I'm very wasteful with hours. So however, I'm accepting of whatever my distraction is. Do you know what I mean? So I build that into my time. So it's like if I write for 20 minutes and then I end up, I don't know, playing Red Dead Redemption for an hour, that's acceptable to me.
But what if people are going, where's that script? Where's that script? I need that script. I need that script.
I'm really sorry, man.
We're in pre-production. We're in pre-production in a
listen,
week.
that's probably why you're doing a lot better in that regard than me, is because people are still waiting for stuff that but I mean, I guess for me, it's like more, I try not to put a deadline on stand-up or anything like that. But if it's a script the truth is, a deadline really does. It's the old cliche, isn't it? It really does shut. You just are forced, aren't you?
Yeah.
And then the idea that it's going to be rubbish because you're absolutely hammered is not true. I feel like sometimes when the looming deadline approaches, actually, the truth is, if you gave me a week to do something and 6 months, both things would be of fairly similar quality.
Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay.
I would say, for better or for worse.
I had this conversation with a young writer that was really struggling and was like, they're constantly asking me to do more stuff and I can't do it and I need a break and I don't know how to have a break anymore. And I said, the thing that you need to know, the thing that that's our secret that they don't know is you can write a script in a night. It doesn't mean that you should, and it doesn't mean that the script will be good, but you can do it. And so if you need to take a break, take a break.
Yeah. This is another thing I really relate. There's a lot of stuff about you that I relate to here.
Oh, this is good.
So you said that when you were bedbound, you thought that you'd written some of your best stuff.
Yeah.
But it turned out not to be the case.
No, it was self-indulgent nonsense. Yeah. It was awful. Yeah.
So you went away, so you sort of finished and you thought, this is next level. Right?
Yeah.
And then when was it you had the moment of realisation?
When I read it back.
Like straight away as soon as you read it back?
Well, no. Like, you sit there and you write and you think, oh, this is important, this is important, this is important. And then you have a week away from it and then you read it back and you go, this is unimportant, this is shit. And that's the story of my life, I think, sadly.
Yeah, I mean, I had to build in. This particularly when I wrote my first book, which is like this sort of jangly sort of set of memoirs, but there was no chronology to it. I was just jumping all over the place. But I remember there were days when I would write, and I think I'd finish the day and I'd walk into the other room and I'd say to Lisa, your husband's done some pretty great stuff. I don't want to brag. And then I come to it the next day. I deleted whole chapters of stuff. I reckon I wrote over 2 books worth of stuff, like just from that process of going. And I fell for it every time, by the way.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah.
walk out going, this.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
what happened last time was I came back to this and I thought it was shit, but this is really good.
Yeah.
And I come back to it and go, what was I thinking?
But don't you feel like that's every day? I'd say I write 11 to 12 pages a day, of which 3 to 4 pages are useful,
Right.
of which I think we end up using about one.
Right,
So really I write 1 page a day. So that means I write 365 pages a year. And that's my life.
Yeah. Yeah, but what are 365 pages though?
Yeah.
I know you don't want to say that. So you went on Desert Island Discs.
Yes.
We have another thing we have in common.
Yes.
Desert Island Discs, and then somebody got in touch with you saying that they thought that you might have autism.
Yes.
And then you went on to then get a diagnosis.
Yes.
How did that? What was that all like? So did you have any suspicions before doing Desert Island Discs?
I knew I was different. I knew my brain worked slightly differently from other people, and I knew that I was profoundly shy.
In good ways, or when I say good and bad, I mean this in a very kind of black and white, but in ways that were advantageous or
No, purely.
Right.
I knew that I drowned in conversation in a way that other people didn't.
Right,
And I
okay.
knew that when I was at school,
Yeah.
it was that thing at school of going, you're having a nice time talking to each other. I can see you're having a nice time talking to each other. I'd like to be part of that nice time, but I have no idea how to make myself nice for you.
Right.
I don't know how to present myself in a way that you'll find interesting. And that was most of my school years.
Right.
And so I knew that I was, but then, that happened, and it was a phone call from my theatre agent, Rachel Taylor. Rachel was my first agent, and I was her first client. So we've known each other for years.
Yeah.
And I said, do you think there's anything in it? She said, I've been sent this email. I don't know how to deal with it, right? And I don't know whether I should send it to you. I don't know what to do here, but I'd feel bad if I didn't tell you that it existed.
Yeah.
And I said, do you think there's anything in it? And she went,
That is, by the way, what a hospital pass of a question that is.
yeah. And she went, well, yeah, I mean... And then I went downstairs to Rachel, my wife, and said, I've just been told this by Rachel Taylor. Do you think there's substance to this? And she went, yeah. and then the amount of people who, after I got my diagnosis, went, I could have saved you some money there, including people like Sam Mendes, Sir Sam Mendes. And I was in rehearsals with him, and I went, I've just had this autism diagnosis, and he went, how much did that cost you? Just like you could have just asked me. I'd have told you.
Yeah. So I had not the same thing, but somebody. I did a podcast with Tom Davis.
Yeah.
And somebody got in touch after listening to that and said, I'm pretty sure you've got some form of ADHD from the way you talk and stuff. But I mean, I didn't go on to get a diagnosis because I then went to a gig and it turned out every comedian had ADHD.
Well, so it literally is every comedian, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it does make sense for comedy, right?
Yeah.
The restless brain.
Yes, absolutely. Do you drink at all?
No, I haven't had a drink since 2001.
So I've had an on and off relationship with drink. And right now, as I'm talking to you now, I feel like I'm never going to drink again. That's how I feel currently. But the reason I asked the question is that the drink I find eases my social anxiety, right? So if I go to a situation and our jobs have this in common, that you end up out for an evening where you've got to do some sort of, the production team would like they're going out or whatever. And I would spend I just find it agonising, right?
Yes.
And what a drink would do is take that first half an hour to 40 minutes of me just going, I just want to disappear. It would take that away. And then somebody said to me, oh, you need to just accept that you're going to, you need to be comfortable in the discomfort you're feeling in your own skin in those situations. And I've sort of tried to just kind of accept that I am going to feel a bit funky do you know what I mean? It's because
I just don't go to those situations anymore.
I mean, that's another solution.
Yeah,
I mean, that's another really good solution. Do you know what I mean? Jack, we have got it's a little game that we've got, a little mini game that we've got for you. It will be very quick. But we've got some quotes that are either something you've said or something we've made up.
Oh, wow.
Okay? They could all be true, they could all be made up.
Oh, God.
It's misquoted. Here's the first one. I don't trust any writer who says they enjoy the process. That's how horror films start.
That's not me.
Do you know that because you've got such control over, you don't agree with it, or?
I think it is possible to enjoy the process. There's times when I don't, but I think it is possible to enjoy the process, and I don't think I'd have used the horror films bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
That's how game works.
Yeah, sorry. It's just I knew it wasn't you, so I was happy. I didn't feel any need to put you out of your misery. It was a bit embarrassing when I submitted my first draft of Adolescence. I thought I was writing a comedy.
Yeah, that's not me.
Okay, how about this one? I think London's a bit sad. There's a lot of quite unhappy people, and it's very goal-driven.
Yeah, that's me.
Do you still feel like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you say
I wish I lived anywhere but London.
Really?
Yeah. I lived in Luton for a long time.
Yeah.
When I was starting my career as a writer.
Right.
I lived in Luton for 8 years, and I loved Luton. There was it's a tricky place. There's lots of things that are tricky within it, but I thought there was a spirit to the place that sort of made sense to me. Whereas I think London is cruel to itself. I think there's lots of people that are being forced into places they don't want to go, and they're unhappy with it, and that sort of unhappiness goes everywhere.
The goal-driven thing, is that your sort of distaste for?
I'm not sure I stand by that, actually.
Okay.
I think goal-driven is sort of looking at myself, and I think now my problem with London is people are paying exorbitant prices to do jobs they don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like, that they're stuck in a rent sort of spiral, and that makes me unhappy now, rather than seeing lots of people like myself.
Yeah.
I think I was seeing myself there with the goal-driven stuff.
Okay. One more.
Yeah.
I don't like small spaces, and I've never told anyone this, but I don't much like pigeons.
That's from Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So, no, that's not me. That's Harry Potter.
Yes. Cursed Child was great. Oh, God, that was so good.
Thank you very much.
So Cursed Child, my eldest son is Harry Potter obsessed. And he was peak Harry Potter obsessed a few years ago. And so I arranged, I bought the tickets and I did it as a surprise. I woke him up one morning and I said, we are going to watch Cursed Child. So we went to watch the first part, went for lunch, went to watch the second part. And, you'll know this, but watching him go through the experience of watching that is probably one of my favourite experiences I've ever had.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, thank you very much.
It was just amazing. And I wasn't as familiar with Harry Potter. I don't think you can be as familiar with Harry Potter as there were the people in the audience, because somebody would exhale in a certain way and they'd go, that means da-da-da-da. And I don't understand that. It was incredible. It was incredible. Okay, I've got the final thing for us. It's final question time. I'm going to give you two options. Two options. So the first option is, it would be great for this if we had some sort of viral moment or exclusive.
Okay, wow.
So can you give us some sort of exclusive that you're also happy to go out, or something you've never said publicly before? Or you can answer this question. If you could steal one scene from any play, film or TV show and claim it as your own, what would it be?
Oh.
So it's up to you which you answer.
I'd like to have written the Wire series 4. I think that's perfect TV.
Right.
So I'd like to have written that whole thing. In terms of one scene, the last scene of Love's Labour's Lost, which is episode 13 of series 1 of ER, which is Mark Green going home on the train, and he puts his head against the glass, and there's no words in it. I like scenes with no words in, and it tells a huge story of heroism. And I think that's remarkable. In terms of an exclusive, I'm not sure I can deliver for you.
No, but you've delivered with the answer, to be fair.
all right,
You've met your part of the deal.
When you mentioned Star Wars earlier, I was fired from Star Wars Episode 9.
No, I didn't know that.
So
what happened?
Well, I can't talk about that because I signed an NDA, but I can say I was fired from it.
Right.
Which I think I've not said. I think I've said that in an interview before, but
okay. But that's pretty good. That's a good tidbit.
Yeah.
And I can tell from your eyes that it was horrible. I've inferred. And then the other thing is, everybody's asking if there's going to be an Adolescence 2.
Yes.
Is that something you're interested in, or is it going to happen?
We're not going to tell the Miller story again.
Okay.
So Jamie's story has been told.
That's done, right.
And we would like to work together again. We'd like to use the one-shot template in some other way. And we are trying to work on ideas. Steve and I are talking quite a lot as we're working through ideas, but we're also talking about other stuff too.
Fantastic. Listen, it has been, I'm such a fan. It's been such
Thank you
a
very
pleasure
much.
and an honour to chat to you.
Thank you.
It's been an amazing chat, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me on. I think I'm an odd guest and an odd booking, but I'm very grateful you booked me all the same.
But listen, you've been a great guest, and more importantly, you're available. And that's what we like here on the show. No, you've been incredible. Love it. That's great. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Romesh Ranganathan Show. Now, I hope you don't mind me getting serious for a minute, but I've been told that some people are watching this podcast, enjoying it, and still haven't subscribed. And that is, well, first of all, it's unacceptable. But secondly, you're going to miss episodes, which is very silly. So follow and subscribe to the Romesh Ranganathan Show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. We drop new episodes every Monday and Thursday. On Thursdays, I'm joined by my mum, widely regarded as the audience's favourite Ranganathan. Sorry, Dinesh. And we answer your questions, your stories, and your family dilemmas. Send your questions and stories to podcast@rangaby.com. Voice note or text on 07731 623 355. We genuinely love hearing from you. And there's a good chance you'll hear yourself on the show. That'd be exciting. A little bit of fame for you. You can walk around looking at members of the public like I do, like they're lesser human beings. See you next time. Lesser human beings. See you next time.